After the 2020 election, after Donald Trump's claims of so-called rampant election fraud, after those claims took hold in the Republican Party, Republicans in 6 states decided to create or amp up existing efforts to prosecute voter fraud. The attorneys general of Virginia and Arkansas established election integrity units in their offices. Ohio's Secretary of State created a public integrity division with oversight over investigation of election law violations. In Georgia, Republican Governor Brian Kemp signed a bill last year that gave the state's Bureau of Investigations jurisdiction over voter fraud. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis created his own election police force, initially budgeted at $1.2 million, which this year was boosted to $1.4 million. Arizona Republicans already had an election integrity unit. They launched it after Democrats had a strong showing in the 2018 midterms. Texas has already been in the business of investigating election fraud. Attorney General Ken Paxton has reportedly spent nearly $7 million on it over the last 3 years to handle a total of 33 cases. So what did these guys get after all that fanfare, after all that money? Bupkis. According to an analysis by the Washington Post, the election integrity units established or expanded in 6 states after Trump's losses obtained only 47 convictions during a period in which tens of millions of votes were cast. The vast majority of the convictions represent small-bore cheating, or as some defendants argue, mistakes by individual voters, such as casting 2 ballots, falsifying a registration, or voting even if barred by a conviction. All of the convictions occurred in Florida, Texas, and Ohio, while units in Virginia, Georgia, and Arkansas failed to obtain a single guilty verdict, despite allocating dozens of staffers and millions of dollars to ferret out voter fraud. Not a single conviction. Instead, these task forces mostly just made people's lives miserable and somewhat scary. This is what it looked like in Florida last summer.
So, ma'am, we have a warrant for your arrest.
For what?
Some voter fraud.
I'm like, voter fraud? I voted, but I ain't commit no fraud.
Well, so that's the thing. I don't know exactly what happened with it, but you do have a warrant. That's what it's for. Okay.
Oh, my God.
Voter fraud? What is voter fraud?
Voting when you're not supposed to, sir.
Why would y'all let me vote if I wasn't able to vote?
I'm not sure, buddy. I don't know.
And then why now? This happened years ago. Why now? Why me?
Why him? What many of the 52 people arrested in the last year by Governor DeSantis' election police seemed to have in common was their party affiliation or the color of their skin. It turns out it didn't just seem like that, it was like that. The Washington Post's analysis showed that the election integrity units in those 6 states overwhelmingly targeted minorities and Democrats for prosecution. The analysis found that 76% of defendants whose race or ethnicity could be identified, that 76% were Black or Hispanic, while white people constituted 24% of the prosecutions. Registered Democrats made up 58% of those charged whose party could be identified, while registered Republicans were 23%. While the alleged point of these so-called election integrity projects is to make elections fair, the real point of them is not hard to figure out. The executive director of the watchdog group American Oversight put it this way. At best, these election integrity units are for show, designed to placate far-right election denialists in the conservative base. At worst, they are used to justify new voting restrictions and to intimidate people, especially racial minorities, from exercising their right to vote. And yet the desire remains to stay in the good graces of those election denialists, especially one in particular.
The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election of 2020, and we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election of 2024. We're not going to allow it.
The GOP remains willing to appease him, apparently at any cost.